So, our favorites, Azali dying, are in the news again. They've been in the news, Tim Lambesis as well, for the past couple of months. Kind of let it fester for a while. I've been wanting to come and talk about this because, it's part of the saga. I did the first episode about what happened, and you know, it was right before they really started coming back at all. I mean, they barely came out with that first album since he'd gotten out of prison. I have mixed feelings about it, but it's like, okay, maybe, we'll see where he goes from here. Maybe he's redeemed, and obviously not. From what we've heard is going on and what we've seen with our own fucking eyes on YouTube. Posted a lot of videos about it and stuff, but yeah, more has come out about that and just their choices in shows and stuff like that. They did a show in Israel. They were brought in public after backlash following the announcement of its March 23rd show at Zappa Tel Aviv. Critics condemned the performance due to the ongoing Gaza conflict, while the band defended the decision as being rooted in music and unity rather than politics. Like, come on, man. It's just bad timing, Like, yeah, a few years ago, maybe no one would have really said anything. More than a few years ago, maybe more like fucking 5 or 6 years ago. I mean, all this is going on for decades, but it's just like after October 7th, it became at the forefront of everything in terms of world conflict. The latest debate reflects something far bigger than one band. Touring, once considered culturally neutral territory, is now routinely pulled into geopolitical and ethical conversations. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the world, like, don't fucking be careful at this point, you don't want to fuck with the wrong people. Yeah. Yeah, criticism emerged almost immediately after they announced the performance across social platforms, with some fans expressing disappointment and others framing the decision as insensitive given the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. The pushback wasn't limited to casual commentary. The band's choice became a lightning rod for a wider argument on whether musicians can realistically separate art from politics in today's climate. Okay, so their public response was, just to be clear, we're traveling across the world to form some of our friends and another great band for people that see past government control and want to unite over music. If disagreeing with the government meant I could not perform music, then I would not be able to play music in my garage or my home studio. There wouldn't be able to be any Azalea Dying music at all. The response frames the performance as an artistic act rather than a political endorsement, a distinction that remains fiercely debated among audiences. Yeah, yeah, this is doing some crazy stuff, man. Because, I mean, they did it in Russia, too, and it's like, they did a tour. This is not the first time as like Dany's tour routing has drawn criticism. Previous performance skills in Russia triggered similar backlash following geopolitical tensions tied to Ukraine. Which of course is like, what the fuck, dude? Russia? Come on, man. I mean, considering his latest controversies, it's like, holy fuck, dude. Why would you do that? Russia and Israel. It's like, fuck, dude. Like, are you just okay with fascist regimes? Like, a little bit too comfortable, Which I get. There are probably plenty of metal fans in that scene. I think they're playing with Our Last Sight, which, I mean, those guys, I think they're kind of pro-Israel too. But yeah, not great start for the Azalea Dying tours. Right after he just came back, with new band members and everything. That's some of the tours that he's choosing. So his wife, Tim Lambesis' wife, Dany Ciara, breaks silence. Just horribly shocking allegations of abuse, infidelity, and AI imagery. Apparently, one of the most damning pieces of evidence Tim Lambesis claimed to possess was footage of Dany chasing me around the house with a knife or scissors. During her appearance on the podcast, Dany provided her side of the story. I will say I pulled a knife on him more than once. I knew when it was going to get physical. It started off with Tim pinning me down, putting his body weight on top of me so I can't breathe. He would strangle me, which I have evidence of. Holy shit, dude. I mean, I had a friend that got in trouble for this kind of stuff, like use their body to kind of put pressure on them, and they couldn't breathe, and they were charged for that, right? Texas does not fuck around with strangulation here, you know. That's one thing, at least one sort of domestic thing that they do not fuck around with. Any choking or breathing suppression, they will fully fucking charge you with a felony for that shit, you know? Given, and it doesn't matter, right? In some cases, like as far as her pulling the knife on him, she could probably get charged with that if he'd called the cops, you know? If she, then she still get in trouble. It doesn't matter who does what, you know? If someone did something illegal, then, you know, they'd probably get in trouble, you know? She would probably get in trouble for that. But in terms of, like, a moral principle, totally understandable. She's fucking afraid of him. He's gonna fucking choke her to death, you know. Totally fucking understandable. He'd still get in trouble, probably, knowing fucking cops, but, yeah, he would definitely get more trouble, or just as much, depending on the laws there, for putting his body weight. Big motherfucker, dude. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Fucking crazy ass. Dany explained that the weapon was used to turn against a man significantly larger than her. She further alleged that Tim showed videos of people without audio to hide her pleas for him to stay away. Dany also highlighted the toxic environment of their shared home, which reportedly housed several roommates Tim met while incarcerated for his 2013 hitman plot. Come on, man. At some point, I mean, yeah, you're scared for your life, so I get it, but it's like, I mean, there's gotta be something where it's like, I cannot be in this shit, you know? She alleged a bro code existed among these men, claiming they ignored her screams for help during physical altercations. She detailed an incident where neighbors called the police due to her screaming bloody murder. Yeah, a roommate who Tim allegedly lists as a witness refused to intervene. Damn. That fucking sucks, dude. Yeah, man. Yeah, he was fucking in prison with him. What do you expect? You know, it's like, been there, brother. I'm not gonna fucking. You do your thing, you know. She dies. She dies. Crazy fucking shit, dude. Damn, fucking psycho. Dany shared logs of numerous police visits to the residence in response to domestic violence calls. She revealed that Tim was initially arrested in suspected battery. She wrote a letter to the district attorney to have the charges dropped to protect his career. Dany claims she has text logs drafting the lie she told the DA, which Tim now reportedly uses as proof that she was the crazy one. Fuck, dude. Yeah, it's about time, you know. Someone came out and said some shit. Well, of course, all the bandmates had said some stuff that happened, but and she hadn't really. She'd alleged to some stuff and shown the videos, or someone leaked the videos. But yeah, fucking horrible. Check out some of the video on the Brutally Speaking podcast. Last time we watched Ken Susie's talk on this, so I think she kind of alleged a little bit more of the stuff that happened. But maybe we can hear more details. So I kind of gotta go through this. So let's get going.
In relationships. So this is a habitual thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty public knowledge that he was cheating on Megan, and he did the same to his ex-wife before me, and that's why their marriage ended. And honestly, that's
Fair enough.
I don't know if I could say like how it has affected his life in other ways because there's like other people involved and but it's caused, let's just say it has caused and been like a root problem for like a lot of big things that has happened in his life, like with.
Yeah, he's probably like, I mean, at that point you're cheating on everybody, you're probably a sex addict or something. So that's probably why some people dealt with some of this shit. But and it's one thing to kind of deal with that and kind of find a way around it if you're willing to. But I mean, obviously, people in recovery, you know, doing something to change that is important. But yeah, the violence is a whole nother thing, you know. Crazy stuff. Let's see. Let's go a little faster. It's a lot. It's 4 hours just about. So we're not gonna go through the whole thing. I'm kind of just skip through and see if I can get some of the main parts. I wish they had it separated, but
His relationships and his band.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah,
didn't know that. So the way you phrase that, it was like, this isn't just it happened to me, that it's happened and it's been a thing. So I didn't know that. So I just wanted, for my own clarification, to make sure I didn't misunderstand you.
Yeah. It's
All right. Sorry.
it's definitely something he's done to everyone that he's been in a relationship with. So, now I forgot what your question was.
No, basically just like you were saying before I cut you off. Sorry about that. But just you were saying basically like you didn't think you would be the person that after your person had cheated on you that you would stick around, that you would have left. And you were saying like explaining that there were things like that you weren't getting into, and you were kind of explaining like that it's been a behavioral pattern, I guess, as I just learned, that he has done in all of his relationships, and then that's kind of where you were at, was that it's a pattern.
Yeah. So you were asking me why I stayed. It was so back to that is because he had explained like some stuff he had been through, and that it's something he wants to work on, and how sorry he is, and like just saying all the right things. And I was just like, okay, I'm gonna stay and I'm going to work on this with you because I love you and I want to be with you. And yeah, that's why I stayed the first time.
Do you at any point feel like it's like, okay, like maybe I need to go see something that I'm not getting in somebody else?
Like to cheat back?
I don't know if it's cheating back, because I think this is like sometimes, because I feel like we live in a world now where it's like texting someone, oh, that's cheating, and it's like, well, nothing happened.
Yeah.
And then you have people who are like, well, I'm just talking to this person, you don't talk to me, so I'm getting this thing from somebody else, but it's nothing. Like it's kind of satiating like an itch that like the other person isn't like. So to me, it's like I hear that, and part of me would be like, well,
I never no. To answer the question on like if I ever felt like the need to reach out to anyone, I'd never ever even had that thought in my mind. I've never cheated, and I never would. That's just something that I wouldn't do. But like even like reaching out to friends and stuff like that, I never did. I never told anyone what was going on in the relationship. It was embarrassing. It was way too embarrassing for me.
Oh, that kind of right there is sort of, I guess, where I was very poorly trying to articulate my thought. Like, because I feel like I would go to I would talk to a friend, I would talk to someone, and I maybe would probably find myself gravitating toward this.
Yeah, I think it'd be hard to talk about it. It'd be like, dude, why are you sticking around for this shit? It's just crazy. Living with fucking roommates and shit from prison. It's like, what are you doing?
Feeling the emotion of all of that, and it turned into this really scary, horrible cycle. Where I would feel the emotions in the aftermath of being hurt, and that would turn into him feeling inadequate, and that I don't love you, or I don't love him enough, and he would say like he would yell at me and tell me like you don't love me, and why can't you just give me a hug? And it's because I'm hurt in the first place. That would
he's like love me, just love me. Or he's like going fucking psycho. Like, dude, you can't like force people to try to fucking love you, bro. Like, especially if you did something to hurt them, like, and to like hurt yourself to try to make that happen. It's just like, what the fuck, dude? Psycho, total psycho.
it would trigger some kind of insecurity within him that made him feel unlovable, and would send him into just like a crazy rage that would push me further away, obviously, because it usually ended up being abusive. And then I'm sure you can see how that cycle repeats and repeats and repeats, because he's just pushing me further away with not just not making space for me to express my pain, but to flip it and make it about himself and how I don't love him, or how me being mad or me being in pain was proof that I didn't love him.
So I remember when the videos had leaked of one of your altercations. I'm assuming at that point, and the thing that really just stood out to me, that like a lot of people commenting on those videos. I remember people just kind of making fun of Tim in that situation for how he was reacting. And the first thing I kind of saw and felt bad about was just that it's like, it seems like there's something deeper there that hasn't been addressed, or whatever. There's just no resolution to something that's causing those feelings, those things, and it.
Yeah, it's like an extreme amount of therapy and just anger management, like, this bro should not have gone back in his band, and he should not have remarried twice. Insane, dude. Like, sometimes it's like, dude, if you're just bad at these things, you're so insecure you can't fucking handle it, then just stay out of the fucking relationships. I mean, you're a fucking rock star, man. You could just do whatever on tour, and then if that's your thing, and then fucking well, why put yourself through that, But no, you want to come out and keep repeating the same shit. Psycho.
It's sad to see, But I think the other thing I remember saying, like when I watched that, was just like, that doesn't seem like it's behavior that just is new, quote unquote. Like I don't know a better way to articulate that, but like that's not new behavior. That's something that probably had been around for a while. And the other thing it kind of made me think about, again, like a lot of things when I take it in, I try to put myself in there. I try to figure out how I would react and all these kind of things. And we're thinking like one of the first thoughts, other than just like this feels like some buried trauma that like hasn't been addressed, and knowing, like I said, the therapy I'd gone through, and it kind of always comes back to your parents and how you grew up, like, and thinking back to like thinking of a marriage, like you have an extended family when you get married, like is this in as much as maybe you can even answer this, like was this something you ever talked about with like his parents, like about like, hey, like Tim's acting this way, like
bro, what the fuck did y'all do to this guy, dude? Like, just beat the shit out of him all the time, maybe someone with his mommy issues, who knows? I mean, as if he hates women this much to where he's just always doing shit like this, it's just like, dude, fucking crazy.
Have you ever noticed it? Is it brought on by something? Like, is there something I like? And like, this is kind of where I go with it. Like, almost immediately, like, is there something I can do to help not make that be a thing? Because obviously, it's someone that's hurt, and it's a person I care about, and I don't want them to feel that way.
I had a very difficult relationship with his family because, like, this is very deep into it, but eventually, like, there was this pattern of when there was conflict between us, he would call his mom and have his mom involved, whether it was like a big conflict or a small one. And I felt like he was poisoning them against me during the relationship anytime there was an issue. And he wasn't honest about like how things started. Like if things blew up into something catastrophic, what started it, for example, we'll just use it as an example because this is what started it most of the time, was like me being in pain over something he did to hurt me, like cheating, lying to me. And then it escalated into like, you're not getting over it.
Told you, he's got mommy issues. Big mama's boy, but she also, it's like, there also has to be something else there, right? Maybe like a controlling thing or something, who knows? Probably. It's like, I gotta check in with my mom, she's gonna be mad.
Enough, and I'm gonna blow up now, and now I'm calling my mom, and I'm blowing up because Dany is torturing me, and that's kind of what the conversation would be with his family. So from their perspective, like they're hearing Tim call all the time saying how I'm torturing him and doing this or that, and I think eventually, like, they're not. His mom is an enabler to his behavior. It didn't really matter what he did. She was always just like, his mental health is the most important thing right now because he's making the biggest, like deal out of what's going on. Like, I could have approached him about wanting to talk about how I'm processing these feelings and how like not trusting him is hurting me really badly kind of conversation. And then he would blow up and make it about himself. And then that's where all the attention would be. It would no longer be about my pain that I brought up in the first place. It's all about like Tim and his mental health and how I need to back off of him because he's having a mental breakdown right now. And that's kind of like, I didn't know anybody at all. So that was supposed to be like
constantly having a mental breakdown, it seems. Let's see a little bit more about someone.
3 years. I've been recording him for 3 years and releasing his worst moments, how I chased around the house with a knife, lies about why he hit my dog, which these are all things I'll explain. But I reached out to him and I told him like, I'm seeing all this and I don't want to like keep going back and forth. Like I've stayed quiet for the most part for the last year. I've been like off social media for the most part. I haven't been out here like trying to control the narrative like he's trying to do. And I just got fed up with it. And I told him like, I feel like the only way to resolve this is for both of us to just come forward and tell the full truth. Like you tell everybody your side, all your evidence. I'll tell everyone my side. I'll show all my evidence. And of course his response was no. And he tried to like, manipulate me and say like, of course you always want to take the most difficult path. And I'm like, it doesn't seem difficult to me, but there's a reason he doesn't want to do that or didn't want to do that. And then he promised me like he would just stop talking about our relationship in general, which he didn't. And that's one of the reasons that I'm talking about this. And this isn't something that like I really want to be doing. It's really fucking hard for me to talk about all this stuff. My brain like freezes up a lot and I'll kind of disassociate when I'm talking about these things. So it's like, it makes it hard because I have all these stories to tell and all these details that are so important to the bigger picture, but then like my brain doesn't want to cooperate. So this is really fucking hard for me. I want people to know that,
So you kind of had said like, you've been wanting to do this for a while, and we started this off by saying like, or I should say I started this off by saying that this was like shortly after the Ken episode. There was talks of you and I doing something then. I'm going to say something, and again, I don't know if I can share this, but I think it's going to set up kind of where I fit in with a lot of this. And it sounds really shitty to say like that, that I'm involved in this, but as I was talking to Ken a little while ago, I kind of had made the comment when we were initially maybe going to do something, you and I, that I go, dude, it feels kind of like weird because you came on my show and you were one of the first bands that had a name that was going out with As I Dying, and the internet hated you, and I asked the question, and basically you answered it, and you got death threats. I think about that. I think that was the one that he got a death threat from. To then now he's going to be in the band, and I'm asking the hard questions about that. To then obviously everything that led up to him leaving the band and that just blowing up. What a lot of people don't know, after I posted that episode with Ken, and you were kind of on the fence about what to do. There was a lot of back and forth of I don't think your divorce was final at that point, so I think there was I think that was holding things up. Obviously, just a slew of things. But hours after I posted that episode with Ken, I woke up at like 5:30 in the morning to go to work, and I turned on my phone to turn it on and all that, and I had received and was still receiving. I could literally see the bubbles from Tim. Tim messaged me. basically saying that the story that Ken's putting out there isn't accurate. That no one ever listens to him, no one ever gives him a platform. That there was all these things that no one knows, and he would be willing to tell the story, and even at the time he even offered to have Ken come on so he could go. We could have like an open discourse over the things Ken said and all that kind of stuff. There was going to be that as an episode or a live thing or something. Tim quickly took that away. Didn't want to give Ken a platform because no one cared about Ken if his name's not involved.
Damn. It's no one that's taken time to understand what I've lived through, and the reality with the story is completely different than what people think. Mission doesn't need to come from me, it can come from the other women who live in this house that were obviously terrified of my ex, or the men who wouldn't even leave their bedrooms when she was home because they were so scared of her. What? You're obviously allowed to push and promote clips and quotes all you want. But at least is that if you cared about the truth, you would ask people who actually know rather than fill the blanks for a person who makes massive assumptions based on very limited information. Kids never take a moment to call me and speak about me, but not to me. That's crazy, dude. Hold on. This is actually juicy information.
But hours after I posted that episode with Ken, I woke up at like 5:30 in the morning to go to work, and I turned on my phone to turn it on and all that, and I had received and was still receiving. I could literally see the bubbles from Tim. Tim messaged me, basically saying that the story that Ken's putting out there isn't accurate.
Yeah, I just want to see the full text. This is a man, like all this text, this is a man who's fucking fully crashing out and fully guilty. He says, if you want to hear the full story that Ken literally has no idea about and I never thought to look into, we could talk. Ken is the least important person about what was really going on. I'd be willing to talk to you with Ken present, unlike the cowardly move he did to never ask what was really going on, only talk about me rather than talk to me. Dude, he saw you spit in your wife's fucking face, dude. He was a witness. He was a witness to it. He saw it. They all saw it, you fucking moron. He says, but I also accept that no one really knows about the truth because no one has taken a moment to even hear it, let alone be mindful enough to ask. Not attacking you, just find Ken's cowardice shocking once you hear the whole thing. And the contradictions I have from Ken writing about how he was the biggest one in favor of trying to brush things aside that need to be talked about. Sorry, I texted you all that when I first had Fred reach out. Who knows what's really going on? So I didn't hear first me to come at you. I'm guessing Kenny's your friend, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then his response is over. I wanted me to know this was supposed to be what this episode was to be about. When I had asked Ken to be a part of the 500th episode, it was about the time your show was in Grand Rapids. None of the events that have happened were even a thing. Since then, obviously, lots changed. I still want to have Ken be a part of the milestone of mine, but also could also feel they need to get all this off its chest. Tim Lambesis went on to say, the way Ken blatantly lied about a lot of things when I have him saying the opposite in text to me makes you really have to think of he's someone that I should bother giving a voice to. You also never took time to hear out what was really happening in this house from me or the people who live here that witnessed a lot of terrible things firsthand. So I know he doesn't care about truth. There are 10 people that lived with me and my ex during the time we were together that saw her with her guard down, and all 10 of them unanimously have a different view than Ken or the outside world. Yeah, did they all go to prison? Were they the ones that went to prison with you, bro? In all reality, outside of a relatively small circle of people, no one really cares about what Ken has to say unless he's talking about me, so I have to put some thought into whether or not it makes sense to speak with him. Really, dude? Come on, man. Ken Susie's a legend, dude. Come on. I'm a big fan of talking to people rather than about people, but the reality is that Ken is really part of what's interesting here when I finally do take time to speak. Anyway, processing a lot of feelings on my side after hearing from a supposed friend at one point who manipulated history to pour his bruised ego about something. So I'm sorry if I'm mostly just venting at this point. I should probably consult some level-headed people on this. Dude, what the fuck? Definitely not your jail friends. That's crazy. Damn. Crashing out over these fucking text messages, dude, for sure. For sure. Yeah. I read that one. Okay. That was the last one I read. It's crazy. Alright, for the last one. Fortunate for me, we had roommates living with me during this time that are quietly putting together everything they need testified, and I just have to accept that I need to go through the chapter of life where all things one thing, but the reality is different. Sure, bro. Come on, dude. We know the reality. We know you were in prison. We know we saw you flip over that table. Dude, there's a video of you fucking hitting her dogs, dude. There's no fucking doubt you're a fucking piece of shit. What the fuck? They're all very eager to speak up on my behalf, so I've been advised to just wait for them to be the one to speak. No one has to believe me. The truth will come out. But I'm pretty confident that the undertone of arrogance in Ken's representation of the story sound pretty shitty once he learns all the other things. This is all very traumatizing for me, so I'm sure you're getting blown up with my thoughts. I'm just very uncomfortable sitting on some information for a very long time. I need to consult with the right people of how we went to finally show underline me that this whole thing has been painted wrong. I'd be happy to have an off-record phone call if you like. It's really plugging for me because I realize there's a lot of people who are good people that are just completely unaware of some of the things going on. I don't think you had any bad intentions, but I think you would regret giving Ken a voice if you knew some of these things. But I think you'll regret that when all this information finally comes out. Oh, fuck, dude. Jesus. He keeps saying, like, I should probably talk to somebody else. Oh, shit, it's ramping up. I'm sorry that you walked to something you knew so little about, and I'm not attacking you anyway, but Ken's personality is a fight for his point of view on principle, so even hearing about this stuff is not something he's open to. I think you know his personality enough to understand he enjoys being loud about this more than he enjoys taking a humble moment, process all of this information properly. I know life is busy. I'm sorry for blowing you up with so many messages. Thanks for the voice notes back. I'd be happy to speak off the record to explain why I've been publicly defending myself and why Ken or other people are speaking publicly are absolutely not qualified to be an authority on any of this stuff. Burn. Yeah, right. Dude, he was there, man. You did tell him, like, oh, okay, he's twisting what he saw with his own eyes. Saw me spit on... He saw me spit on my wife out of context. He said, in reality, unless I'm going to be a person that stirs shit and posts all the screenshots of Ken completely contradict everything he said, there's really nothing I can do other than sit here and let Ken tell his lies for now. I don't think I'm just tasteful enough to post the screenshots, but I'll definitely have to tell the truth in time. Doesn't really seem to be a rush to do that because no one really cares about the truth anyway. Dude, say what you gotta say, man. Even as, like, in a PR move, you gotta say something at some point. Don't just fucking sit there like a fucking lump on the log. It's because you have nothing to say, bro. It's because you have no retort. You're just a fucking piece of shit.
That I, like, set up cameras in his house and recorded him for 3 years and released his worst moments. I didn't set the cameras up in the house. That was 100% him. He set the cameras up in the house. I had access to them. If he was abusive towards me, I would save the video, and I'm glad that I did. Like, I'm so glad that I have record and actual evidence of everything that I'm talking about because, I mean, for obvious reasons. But the other thing I wanted to mention was, I've said this before. I didn't leak the videos. I had sent them to friends of mine, and someone else did it. I don't know who it was, but honestly, it's crazy to me that he knows what I have and tells everybody that I have exposed his worst moments, because those videos that people have seen are not even close to the worst things that he's done. Not even by a landslide. They're pretty fucking tame compared to, like, the stuff that I have evidence of that he has put me through and the abuse he's put me through and the horrible fucking things that he's done. And so it's wild to me that, like, he continuously, like, he knows that I can see the lies that he's telling, and he knows, like, the evidence that I have. I don't know if he really believes or not, like, whether I'm just such a... I spent so much of our relationship protecting him. Maybe he thinks, like, that I just wouldn't speak out against him. So I don't know. It's just crazy to me.
Collective, you as the collective, I guess, at the house, that you lied to the cops and said that it wasn't him, that he didn't do anything or nothing that bad. And it kind of reminded me of when you posted on your Instagram that, like, oh, like, these things aren't true and da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, even, it's almost like Stockholm syndrome is like how I looked at it, where it's like you're still, at the time, we're still, like, trying to be a better person to the person.
Yeah, I remember I saw that and I was like, what the fuck? Like, why? Like, she posted something, like, she changed her name back to Ciara and then posted something about him after that, not being abusive or not being true or whatever. And then I knew back then. I'm like, no, like, dude, he had to force her to say that,
A statement that I made about a year ago. I didn't write the statement that I posted, but I did make a video explaining how Tim doesn't abuse me and we're in a good relationship and stop the rumor, basically. But yeah, I would have lied and lied and lied. And, like, I have evidence of all this. Like, I'm not going to talk about anything on this podcast that I don't have actual evidence to back up, because I'm not... Tim is too happy, and I know he's going to come after me for this, and I'm not going to say anything I don't have, like, legitimate proof for, because he'll sue for defamation.
Sure. I also would wonder how he would have money to do that when he had to sell his motorcycles, apparently, to keep his band afloat.
Whenever he needs money for something, it just magically appears. So I don't know. That's another side story. But if I abused you that bad, how the fuck were you able to just, like, snap your fingers and move on? Because I can't imagine it. Like, I really, really can't. It fucking hurt me. He hurt me more than anyone in my fucking life has. And it's so unapologetic about it. It just makes me so fucking angry. I have the right to defend myself against him, and I don't know why he doesn't believe that I did, but I did. If I didn't agree to quit being angry with him about something or be in the mood that he wanted me to, it would escalate to the point where, like, you know, he'd have like one of his mental breakdowns, and then he would pin me down, he would strangle me, which I have evidence of him strangling me. And I have evidence of this too, where it's one of these times where he's doing this to me and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. And by the way, this is one of his so-called witnesses that he keeps mentioning. He keeps mentioning in comments and stuff about all this online. He has like 8 witnesses that witnessed me abusing him, not the other way around. One of his witnesses, I'm in there in our room screaming at the top of my lungs for him to come help me get Tim off of me. And like bloody murder, like screaming at the top of my lungs so loud that the neighbors called the police. And he didn't come help me. And I texted him the next day and I said, I can't believe you wouldn't come help when I'm screaming for you like that. I don't know if you heard me. Neighbors heard me. I know you were here. I know you were home. And I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I just wanted to mention that, like, that's the credibility of the people that he has as witnesses for him, of my abuse to him. And I even have a video of like Tim assaulting me and that guy that I'm talking about that was our roommate turning his back and walking away. So he would protect Tim at all costs too. It's like this prison thing. I don't know. But back to the story about the knife, I would feel it get to that point. I'd feel it coming. You know, there were obvious signs after so many times of it happening that, like, if there was a weapon by me, no matter what it was, I'd pick it up and I would hold it out to him to keep distance between us, because if I knew what would happen if he got close to me. So that's the context behind the knife video. And I'm not ashamed of it. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say sorry if for someone, he's literally 110 pounds heavier than me and fucking strangles me. And there was times where I thought he wasn't going to let off of my throat. So, like, why would I let him get close to me? And then he says that I'm, like, apparently, like, I'm charging towards him in this video, like, coming at him with a knife, which I don't recall that happening. It could have, but, like, if I'm walking towards him, like, I can honestly say the only time I ever pulled a knife out on him was to keep him away from me. And I bet you anything that without the, like, if he were to show this video to people, which he has shown videos to people in the past without the audio, is because you can probably hear me saying in the audio, like, stay the fuck away from me. You know what I mean? Yeah. I wanted to give context to that scenario because, like, I feel I have the right to defend myself against him. And I don't know why he doesn't believe that I did, but I did.
Well, it's sort of the same thing I've thought of myself. And I came to this conclusion through him reaching out to me to then not do the podcast and talking. And it's the phrasing of, like, you know, that he kept saying and I keep seeing, which is the whole, like, well, no one lets me talk. It's once you can't play the silence victim card anymore and everyone gets to see, like, what happened, or, you know, you actually get to talk, you can't control the narrative anymore.
Crazy shit, man. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much what we read, but that was some good tea about him talking shit about Ken. I didn't know he fucking blew up on him like that. That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, I mean, everyone has shit to say about what happened, bro. I think there was another ex-band. Yeah, Nick Pierce also came out and details the band's 24 implosion, saying Tim Lambesis completely blew the second chance he was given. More than a year after his deeply trolled metalcore outfit has like dying, Nick Pierce finally addressed what happened. In his interview, Pierce made it clear that the band knowingly gave Lambesis another chance, but ultimately came to regret it. The comments leave little ambiguity about where he placed responsibility for the band's implosion. We're all pretty stoked, like we partially knew some of the predicaments that we were getting into with the pretense of Tim's past. We're willing to give him that second and a half chance, whatever you want to call it, so we kind of blindly went to hoping for the best and hoping that Tim had changed, and changed for the better. He described the early rehearsals as inspiring, creatively energizing, present chemistry to himself, Susie, Ness, and Grosso. After playing that first song together and realizing what we could all do as a group, we're like, holy shit, fuck, this is sick. No, I mean, no doubt, right? I mean, it's all a bunch of good musicians, you know. I mean, Tim, maybe he's a good vocalist overall, but I mean, most of the talent obviously comes from, like, the people with the instruments, you know. But that optimism didn't last. Pierce explained that while he believes strongly in second chances, signing friendship with recovering addicts and former felons, Lambesis ultimately squandered the opportunity. We gave Tim that second chance. That was my second chance to Tim. He fucking blew it. Completely fucking blew it. He made some really stupid fucking decisions. He blew it in the end game. Nick Pierce added that the fallout was sudden and brutal, hitting him personally at the worst possible moment. I found out the band was breaking up on my birthday. It was a shit fucking predicament. Within 24 or 48 hours, I went from thinking I was going on tour in Europe to finding out the band was falling apart. All because of the shit that Tim had done. Pierce said he doesn't want the NC rehash the situation. He didn't hide his frustration or regret. My bad. Trusted the wrong fucking guy this time. So did everyone else. Again. So, fuck us. It fucking happens. Yeah, it fucking happens when you make that choice again. It's kind of a L on y'all's part, too, to be honest. Because y'all knew what a fucking psycho this dude was. So, yeah. Crazy shit after all that's come out, you know? Yeah, I mean, he fucking tried to strangle his wife. Yeah, I mean, I was wondering if it actually got into physical confrontation where he did anything to her. For a second, I was like, okay, maybe he was just hitting himself and just, you know, throwing shit around, kicking the dog. It's all pretty bad, but, you know, I was thinking maybe he didn't actually lay a hand on her, but that's not true. Yeah, I mean, at least lay off the fucking roids, man. Definitely do a lot better for your mental state. Doesn't already help that you need extreme anger management. This dude just needs to be in fucking prison. Something, right? There's gotta be something out there that labels people as these, like, I mean, obviously you get charged with something, right? But it's like the way there's sexual predators, that come out in the neighborhood. There's gotta be people that are labeled just horrible abusers, so that way people know, like, no, don't fuck with this guy. He fucking beats women. Well, if you fucking hear screaming in the neighborhood, you know who it is. But yeah, crazy shit, man. It's not ending. It's never ending with Tim Lambesis. Yeah, at some point it's kind of like, fuck, man, do I want to keep talking about this guy? But I mean, there can't be anything else, right? That's gotta be everything besides him touring with like stupid fucking places in this climate. But yeah, that's fucking Tim for you, dude. Crazy shit, man. Sorry to Dany Ciara. Heart goes out to you. That's crazy what you went through. No one should have to go through that. Yeah, and understand why you didn't leave, just stuck in just a horrible abusive pattern and just not able to get out, and just to the point where you're just fucking codependent on them, and it just goes on and on and on. But hey, you're out. You're out of it. At least the band members saw it in the end. Most people see it, except for his fucking jailmates at this point. And some people just don't care, right? There's plenty of people that are fans. I mean, obviously, there are plenty of people that still like Donald Trump and people like that. So, I don't think it really matters to, like, some people that they're just terrible people. But, I mean, it matters. I don't listen to As I Lay Dying anymore at all. Yeah, if a new song comes on or whatever, I'm just like, I'm fucking out of here, dude. Even the old stuff, I mean, I listened to it so much whenever I was a kid that I was like, nah, I don't need to go back. There's so many better bands out there at this point, and most of their songs kind of just sound the same. The only album I would still maybe give some points to is The Powerless Rise. That was really one of my favorites, but I also heard it a lot, so I don't really need to go back either. But that was probably my last favorite album by then. And then after that, to me, they just kind of fell off in general, and they all started sounding the same. So, yeah, fuck Tim, fuck As I Lay Dying, whoever these new members are, they're joining him. You're fucking idiots. For thinking that this is gonna go well. But I mean, maybe he'll be okay as long as he's not married to anyone and fucking do crazy shit, Just stay single, bro. Then just fucking play music. Like, you don't need to, put anyone through that. That's fucking insane, I mean, if you're a cheater, then, that's just the kind of thing you do. I mean, because you're a fucking rock star or whatever, then just be alone, dude. Like, fuck. Just give it up, dude. Give up the rat race that you're participating in by just abusing and cheating on women over and over and over again, But yep. All right. Peace out, guys. Hopefully more stuff will be coming out soon. I do have another podcast I'm working on that'll come out soon, so keep an eye on that. Yeah, and as more stuff develops in the state of the world and state of metal, I will keep giving those updates, guys. But alright. Peace out, motherfucker.